We've got some Kraven the Hunter updates. Let's get straight to it. Oh yes! Hello lads and lasses, welcome back to another segment of the Comic Perspective, where I'll be discussing the latest in movie news today. I hope you're all doing well, because we've got a real doozy coming out of CINEMACON regarding a certain project I know we've all been eager to hear more about. But before we go through it all together, why don't you guys join the TCP army by hitting that subscribe button with extreme haste, and be sure to fucking headbutt that like button, because we're going to have so much shit coming and you're not going to want to miss any of it, okay? Anyways, back on track. Told you guys we got to get some news out of the way today, coming straight from CINEMACON. Sony rocked up to Vegas today to debut the first piece of KRAVEN the Hunter footage. That's crazy, because we haven't heard shit about it. So I logged onto Twitter this morning to see how the whole ordeal went, and Jesus Christo, my body couldn't comprehend the words in which I was about to experience. KRAVEN the Hunter is gonna be fucking rated R. Rated R. Stu madre, stu ma puta. Why don't you just drain my balls a little more? You can't, because they're fucking empty. Anyways, after Morbius flopping from its own trash composition, Bad Bunny being cast as El Muerto, which is a Spider-Man villain I haven't heard of. I'm sure all you Spider-Man fans out there know exactly who the fuck this guy is. Or maybe you don't. But anyways, he's getting his own movie. And finally, to sum it up, Venom being subpar at best. Okay? So I think it's safe to say that there's been more than... there hasn't been any anticipation for this movie, for KRAVEN. Since it was announced back in the day. It was announced a while ago, I think like 2018. Heard a little bit about it, and then they just went fucking dead. If you told me it came out 3 months... if you told me it was coming out 3 months ago, I'd been like, oh, Comic Perspective, Sony is making KRAVEN the Hunter rated R, and the footage at CINEMACON is gonna be great. I would have slowly nodded my head with a fucking eyebrow raise, and then I would have proceeded to develop a people's fucking elbow to your head. Alright? But lucky for you, this isn't the case. The word on Sesame Street is that the footage was awesome. And what I've brought you guys today is an exclusive footage description. So let me chuck the details up on screen. Should be here. Okay? Right here. Now it says that Sony revealed the first ever footage for KRAVEN the Hunter starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. The trailer starts with KRAVEN stopping some poachers in the wild. This is confirmed to be rated R, and the footage really shows it, with KRAVEN killing everyone like an animal. He uses weapons, his hands, and even his own teeth, and he bites a poacher and spits out the blood. Like that. He also crawls around walls and pounces on foes like an animal. The main conflict is between his father, played by Russell Crowe, who was the one who actually raised him in the ways of Hunter vs. Prey. Hang on, let me drag it over here. Okay. The action features over-the-top gore, as KRAVEN uses all kind of weapons from spears to bear traps to decapitate and chop up goons. The footage teased a mysterious new character played by Ariana DeBose as well. Interesting. So Russell Crowe's going to be playing the father of KRAVEN. Okay, there we go, we're back. Russell Crowe's going to be playing the father of KRAVEN. And he needs no introduction, as he's like one of the GOATs in cinematic history. I guess they liked him as Jor-El in Man of Steel, and just figured he's like a cheat code to playing the father of a superhero or supervillain in the case of KRAVEN. But that's also another thing I really wanted to point out. These past few villain movies, Morbius, Venom, so on and so forth, these guys are actual villains in the comics. Whereas in their movies, they kind of dabble in those elements, show them to be the bad guy, but then just to inevitably turn good in the end of the film. So I really hope that's not the route that they're going to take with this movie. Sorry, voice. I really hope that's not the route they're going to take with this movie, because we need a proper villain film. Have we got that? No. Even Black Adam fucked it by making him a hero in the end. So from him ripping people out with his teeth to all that other shit they explained in that paragraph. I mean, it's sounding good. Sounding. We don't have any footage to go off. The people at CINEMACON do, so unless it leaks, I guess we're just going to have to go off speculation. Now, let's just take it back to my favorite part of that entire paragraph. And I want you to listen to this shit carefully. Hang on, let me get it up right here. This is confirmed to be rated R, and the footage really shows it, with KRAVEN killing everyone like an animal. Oh my god. He bites a poacher and spits out the blood? Well, that just sounds like the puffiest of pastries. Veronica, bring me a cheese Danish on the hustle, because KRAVEN's knocked it out of the fucking park. My secretary will be here soon with my cheese Danish. And that's not even it. That's not even the end of it. Hang on. So basically, according to Discussing Film on Twitter, it says that the CINEMACON teaser ends with someone saying, "Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?" As they then transform into the Rhino. I loved Rhino in Marvel's PlayStation Spider-Man game. And I hated Rhino in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Although both those renditions of Rhino included a mech suit. So PlayStation Spider-Man was a guy resembling the physique of like the Hulk. He was a big dude. He was just naturally a big guy. He would have been injected with some shit, but he was just a big guy. Whereas Rhino in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was just a generic Russian Pop-Tart that had a mech suit made for him by Oscorp. Yeah. So the article by Discussing Film proceeds. Let me get it up. For those curious, the comic-accurate KRAVEN vest with the fire was briefly seen as Aaron Taylor Johnson pulls it out of an old chest. But for the most part, he's not wearing the comic-accurate costume in the footage. Surprisingly, he does meet up with another Spider-Man villain, the Rhino. A huge fight between the two begins as the former injects himself with a serum that actually turns him into a huge Rhino monster, as opposed to it being a mech suit, okay? Goes on to say the footage only saw his arm morphing into the big grey Rhino-like fist that did somewhat look comic accurate. Now, let me just give my 2 cents. This sounds really promising. And I know all we can do is really speculate because that takes up like 60% of what we do as movie channels. But I mean it when I say it's looking good so far. A comic accurate Rhino is like long overdue. And as Spider-Man fans, the Sonyverse has been taking big, steamy piles of shit all over us for the past 10 years. I could go further enough to say even since the Amazing Spider-Man movies, since they weren't as good as they could have been, but I'm not going to shit on Andrew Garfield like that because he did the best that he could have done. Now, I don't want him looking all wonky, but let's be real for a sec. Rhino is an odd-looking bastard, even in animation. So props to Sony if the report is true, and he's looking somewhat comic accurate as previously stated, but that's all I've got for today. Personally, I don't have much to go off because, as I said, it's just these reports from Twitter. The people at CINEMACON saw the footage, so unless they want to leak, unless someone got it on their phone, they want to leak it, we're just going to have to hold out till the trailer. So yeah, just considering the limited information, that's all I got. But I did read somewhere on Twitter that the trailer is set to release for summer in the US. So I don't know when that is. Drop it in the comments because I'm from Australia. I guess all we can do is hope for the best and see what the trailer does for us. I'm going to urge you guys to subscribe to the channel. Run up the likes straight away. Don't waste any time. See how many we can get. Follow my socials, which I'm going to link in the description below. Got some great stuff coming on TikTok, and there's already some awesome updates on there for you guys to check out. Follow me on Twitter, and it's been great talking to you guys. So, until next time, Comic Perspective out.